Hey guys, welcome to one of the fastest growing sports YouTube channels out there, Gold and Blue Dude. USC has fired their head coach Clay Helton after an embarrassing loss against Stanford. So who is USC going to hire as their new head coach? Honestly, nothing would surprise me right now. Let's go. Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's me again, Gold and Blue Dude. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. I do college football videos every single day. While you're here, go check out my good friends at tristatewithsketch.com. All you have to do is send them the picture and they'll sketch it on the wood. They do awesome stuff like coasters, pictures of all shapes and sizes. They do family photos that are really good. And if you're willing to pay a little bit extra, they'll do something great like this for you. Mention Gold and Blue Dude and you'll get 20% off. If you do a phone order and mention Gold and Blue Dude, you'll get 30% off. I'll leave his phone number in the description of this video. Don't forget about my score prediction contest. Every week I pick out a game and a tiebreaker game. Whoever gets the closest to the score prediction wins $20. All you have to do is go to my Patreon page, join my Patreon page, and you're eligible. If you join my $4.99, you get one guest prediction per week. If you join my $9.99, you get 2 guest predictions per week. If you join the $19.99, you get 4 guest predictions per week. This week's game is Alabama at Florida. And the tiebreaker game is going to be Auburn at Penn State. So join my Patreon page and send me your score prediction for Florida at Alabama and Auburn at Penn State. And this is not a prize that you have to wait till the end of the season. There's a winner every single week. But whoever wins the most weeks throughout the entire season gets a championship plaque from Gold and Blue Dude, declaring you the champion of Gold and Blue Dude's college football score prediction contest for this year. Special shout out to all my channel members who have joined either through the Patreon page or through YouTube. These are all my blue members, and I apologize if I mispronounce your name. Braun Brooks, Renee Rocha, Freddie Kicklighter, Jackson Johnson, Yvette Foster, Joey Foster, Lost Aggie 66, Ray Finkel's Ryan McCauley, Jeremy Armentrout, Denver Snyder, and Brian Hanlon. These are my gold members, Nasor Kafani and Jim Hamrick. And finally, my champion members, Jeff Grimm and Patricia Ann Riggs. Thank you all for your support. We're so close to being able to give away $50 a week for my prize. Just a few more members and we'll be able to bump it up to $50 a week. So we all know that USC has fired their head coach, Clay Helton. Who are they going to hire as their new head coach? Like I said before, honestly, right now, nothing would surprise me. There's a lot of names they could consider out there. Don Brown, the defensive coordinator for Arizona. Bo Pelini, the former head coach of Nebraska and former LSU defensive coordinator. Barry Odom, the former head coach of Missouri and Arkansas defensive coordinator. Dan Lanning, the Georgia defensive coordinator. A lot of people talking about him. Tony Elliott, the Clemson offensive coordinator. Mike Elko, Texas A&M defensive coordinator. Mike Yursich, the Penn State offensive coordinator. Todd Grantham, the Florida defensive coordinator. Herm Edwards, the head coach at Arizona State. Mike Gundy, the head coach at Oklahoma State. Gary Patterson, the head coach at TCU. Tom Allen, the head coach at Indiana. Mark Stoops, the head coach at Kentucky. Kirby Smart, the head coach at Georgia. Mike Brown, the head coach at North Carolina. Sean Clark, the head coach at Appalachian State. Kyle Whittingham, the head coach at Utah. Pat Narduzzi, the head coach at Pitt. And Ryan Silverfield, the head coach of Memphis. Those are all decent names, I guess. But here's my list of the 15 people that I think USC should consider for their new head coaching position. First up, Bill O'Brien. Now, he didn't have a lot of success at Penn State. He was 15-9 as their head coach. But as Alabama's offensive coordinator, he has made that offense look very, very good. Another interesting name that I think they should consider, Mario Cristobal. He's only 50 years old. While he's been at Oregon, he's been 27-10. That's not bad. Brent Venables, the defensive coordinator of Clemson. If any team could convince Brent Venables to be their head coach, it would be USC. What about Urban Meyer? I know. He's the head coach at Jacksonville. I don't know the buyout and all that stuff. Maybe they missed the train on Urban Meyer, but I still think Urban Meyer will be a great fit at USC. What about bringing Chris Peterson out of retirement? He was a great head coach at Washington. That would be a smart hire. I know this name is a long shot, but what about Brian Kelly at Notre Dame? Since he's been at Notre Dame, he's 104-39. I don't know how much of a pay raise that would be, if any, worth a shot. What about bringing Bob Stoops out of retirement? He's 61 years old, so he's still got plenty of coaching left in him, and he was 190-48 at Oklahoma. Try to get Bob Stoops. That would be a great hire. What about the coach that beat Clay Helton? David Shaw. He's only 49 years old. He's 91-37 at Stanford. Imagine what he could do at USC. Bill Napier at Louisiana. He's only 42 years old, and he's 29-12 at Louisiana. I think that would be a pretty good hire for USC. I think it would be worth a shot to try to get Ryan Day from Ohio State. He's only 42 years old and he's 24-3 at Ohio State. So in the small amount he's been at Ohio State, a lot of success. What about trying to entice Lincoln Riley away from Oklahoma? This dude's only 38 years old, and he's 47-8 since he's been in Oklahoma. I think this guy would fit right in at USC. This one might not be too popular. Tom Herman. He's only 46. He was 22-4 at Houston, and then 32-28 at Texas. Not a lot of success, but I actually think he had Texas headed in the right direction. In my opinion, that wouldn't be a bad hire. I think James Franklin is a serious name that USC should consider. This dude went 24-15 at Vanderbilt, and since he's been at Penn State, 62-28. The only bad season he's had at Penn State was last year. Other than that, double-digit win seasons at Penn State. I think James Franklin could definitely help USC return back to glory. What about Chip Kelly? He's already used to the Pac-12. He was 46-7 at Oregon. Not a great record at UCLA, 12-21, but he definitely has the Bruins headed in the right direction. I mean, plus stealing a really good head coach from your arch rival doesn't get much better than that. I would definitely consider dialing up Chip Kelly if I were USC. I really think USC should go after Hugh Freeze. He's only 51 years old. He's 69-34 overall. Since he's been at Liberty, 20-6. I think this guy has redeemed himself and has proven to be a good coach. I think Hugh Freeze would be a great hire at USC and would pay off immediately. Then finally, the top two names. The first one, Luke Fickell. Now, overall, he's 43-21. He's only 48 years old, and since he's been at Cincinnati, he's 37-14. I think he's ready to step back into a big-time name position as a head coach. And then finally, Matt Campbell, the head coach at Iowa State. Iowa State, he's done 36-29. That might not sound great, but when he took over, Iowa State was winning 3 and 4 games a season. Trust me, USC is way ahead of that, and he would have a lot more to work with. Matt Campbell would be a great hire at USC. Y'all let me know what names I left off here and who you would consider to hire at USC. That's all I got for you for this show. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you on my next show.